We'll call the July 25th, 2023 North Liberty City Council meeting to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Bermal.
Here.
Harrington.
Here.
Sittig.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Wason.
Here. Moving on down to item 3, approval of the agenda. Anyone have any questions before we have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, moving down to the consent agenda. Any questions on that? I think Ryan sent us an email today. It was. Yep. So anybody have any other questions? Motion for that consent agenda.
I'll move that.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Moving down to number 5, public comment. Not too many people on the public here tonight. We will welcome the representative of Troop 2000. Moving on to item 6. City engineer. report.
Okay, I got number 6. Quick updates on a couple of projects in construction in the city. Penn Meadows Park, since we last met, has got started. You probably, if you're in that area, noticed Penn Street's closed. There's a detour. Construction right now is focusing on the paving and the storm sewer work on Penn Street in the right-of-way. That's why it's closed. That closure should last to the first week of August before that's done and repaved and back open. After they get done with Penn Street, they're going to move into the park and build the west lot, the new lot first. And while they're doing that, the old lot is still accessible. It will be accessible for a while. So sometime in August, they will move into the old lot. But as of right now, that's still available. And then City Hall, I guess the only changes there is that a lot of the brick and stonework on the building is now complete, and they'll move into the metal finishes on that. And there was a question last meeting about the parking. A portion of the parking was open on Main Street, and that is the limit of what's going to be open until the project's done. So they'll keep that, but no more. Other than that, of course, all the work inside the building is continuing. So that's it, unless there's questions about any of those projects or others.
Any questions?
Ryan, the splash pad's still operational at Penn.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to item 7, city administrator report.
Okay, a few things for me tonight. At the joint meeting last week, Kent Ralston with the MPO mentioned that they have an RFP in for the rapid bus study that the MPO has been talking about. Since that time, a few of us have met with Kent to talk about some cost proposals or how costs would be split on that project. We intend, in talking with the mayor, to have that on the August 8th agenda. So we'll be asking the city council to take a look at kind of what the study will do, and then whether or not the council is willing to put some money to it. Right now, that request is $25,000 for the $252,000 roughly $252,000 cost price tag on that study. More to come on that. Just wanted to give you a heads up so you could chew on this. And remember, this is kind of a takeoff on what was the rail study. So they're now studying a bus route along that what would be the old rail bed, assuming that would get removed. So again, I'll have some more information for you, but that's been a conversation topic at the MPO the last number of meetings there. Just wanted to make sure this group knew that last week the Board of Supervisors approved a resolution supporting the Centennial Project in the amount of $20,000. We asked them for the support and the contribution as it's a requirement for the CAT grant. So the folks at the state who administer that grant won't consider an application unless the county in which the project is located in is supportive also. So we're very appreciative of that support. And then lastly, I just note that Coralville, the city of Coralville reached out to us and was asking for some help from city staff. And in this case, it's going to be from part-timers and or seasonal folks in the Parks Department, as well as some full-time folks to help with some parking navigation on Friday for Ragbri. I think their reputation precedes them. They do such a great job at Blues and Barbecue that Coralville thought they would do well for them. And I know Coralville, I think at that point was really still actively looking for volunteers. So Guy and 6 of his folks will be down there Friday morning. And that's what I have this evening, unless there are any questions from the group.
Couple of questions, Ryan. So with that, is there any change to response for fire or police in mutual aid during that evening? Has there been a request at all?
You know, the chief hasn't mentioned anything to me, so I'm not certain.
And then with the MPO study, how's our 25,000 stacked against other communities our size?
So
What's
what-
the ask for Coralville and Iowa City?
So what the proposal is at this point, that the MPO would fund through its reserves, which all that is paid in by the various cities. They would fund $100,000. The county's willing to put $50,000 towards it, and then they're asking for $25,000 from the remaining 4 entities, which would equal the $250,000.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Moving to the mayor report, he gave me nothing to report on. Moving on to council reports. Anyone have anything they've been up to lately?
I attended the joint entities meeting on, what was it, Wednesday of last week? Or Monday of last week.
Monday.
Excuse me. Ryan covered most of the items that we discussed, but also just wanted to encourage people to visit the Johnson County Poorhouse, or the Poor Farm. It was really interesting. I had not been out there, and it's very dynamic. Opportunity for some learning situations, and yeah. That's it.
I went to the MPO meeting and we talked quite a bit about the possible transit study. And I think the other main object was trying to come up with a different way to apportion the money that the cities receive for rapid transit from the government. And they just kind of adjusted it based on the upcoming plan of Iowa City to go fare free. All right, moving to number 10, Housing Trust Fund of Johnson County ARPA Agreement. Item A is Resolution 2023-85, resolution approving the agreement between the City of North Liberty and the Housing Trust Fund of Johnson County. A motion to start talking about this?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Do you want to give a little update?
I can. There were some questions that came about, and so I asked Tracy to ask Ellen if she could be here tonight in case anything more technical came up. But essentially, this agreement is approving the contribution of $400,000 to the trust fund, all of which would come from the ARPA funding. This was a conversation we had a while back. We just had not formalized it in the form of an agreement or a resolution. And then the project we're working on, I can give you the high level, and if you have more questions, we can certainly ask Ellen to say a few words. But it's an apartment project that would be located out on Landon Way, adjacent to Kansas Avenue, where there's the existing, or adjacent to the existing apartment buildings. The developer has some experience in the area, and Ellen can talk more about that if you're interested. But they're a proven developer for this type of project.
You want to pop up?
I got out my North Liberty file. It was like a trip down memory lane because I was here in October and November talking to you about the different, Ryan had asked the trust fund to lay out different options for this funding. And the top option, the top recommendation was exactly what we're looking at here. So over the moon at the trust fund. This developer has 45 projects around the Midwest. And as your city manager pointed out, several in the area. This would be the 5th project with the trust fund with this developer in the last 6 years. So we're very pleased with the outcomes, the quality. So where we would stand here is we used the money, the City of North Liberty's funding, ARPA funding, to entice them. And between the City of North Liberty and some money from the trust fund, we have met the land cost. So what we're doing is making a commitment to the developer that the land will be paid for. We know that they will come back to the trust fund. They actually asked for 1.75 million this past round. They got 62,000 from the trust fund. We know they're coming back. Just working with them right now on a project in Iowa City where the trust fund funded $1.1 million for senior housing. So that was something the city manager in another city that's larger than North Liberty, when the ARPA funding came out, he decided that he wanted to point to something at the end and say, that's what we did with our ARPA funding. And this is your opportunity to do that. There's a 50-50 chance-ish that it will not receive tax credits in August of 24, and then we'll go back to the drawing board. No money will be spent until they receive the tax credits. That would be in August of 24. Then they would have the green light to go ahead. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Mayor, if I could. So 2, Ellen. 1, does the number of projects that this developer, along with Johnson County, has done in the past, does that increase the likelihood of tax credit or decrease?
Some of the decision making is political. I didn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
I said
Understood. Understood.
Nobody said that. So this last project, Next Senior, they were the runner-up for 3 years in a row. And then someone turned back their credits. So that was the only way that the project went over the limit. So I don't think it has to do with the developer or the number of projects that they have at all.
So some lobbying from our city would be helpful, I would assume.
Absolutely.
And then what? No, go ahead.
It used to be that the local money created points in the scoring. That's not true anymore. But your money and the trust fund's money sends a statement in the application that this is what we need and this is what we want, and we're putting our money where our mouth is.
And then what hurdles do you foresee that there are things within our control and those that are not, like with the tax credits? Are there any hurdles that you foresee that we need to get out in front of that would assist?
No. Okay. Did you put in a thriving?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You have a rock star, and she put in an application that could be worth, Ryan and Tracy put in that could be worth one additional point. This is 1 point for a lot of work. There aren't any obstacles.
Okay.
And if we were going to try and lobby someone, who would that be?
Well, Debbie Durham with Iowa Finance Authority and IEDA, the governor.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you for coming and letting us.
My pleasure.
It's an update on it.
This is over the moon for us, to have what we really had put out. It would be the best bang for your buck and quality housing. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions? Can we have a roll call, please?
Harrington,
Aye.
Sittig,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Bermal,
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Passes. Moving to item 11, Field Day Easement. It's resolution number 2023-86, a resolution approving the public easement agreement between NL Brewland LLC and the City of North Liberty. Can we have a motion for this?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Would you like just to give us a little update on that, Ryan?
Actually, I'd ask Grant to give
Sure.
us a quick.
When they're doing construction site review for this project, we go, oh, hey, wait a minute, there's a trail there, and it's not ours. And sure, it'd be nice if that was our trail so we can decorate it, maintain it, and all the other stuff that we do. They're kind enough to offer that easement to us free of charge. The only thing is we're paying for the cost of the very fine easement exhibit that you see in your packet there. It's a pretty good deal for what we're getting. Staff recommends approval.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Smith,
Aye.
Sittig,
Aye.
Bermal,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Harrington. Aye.
And thank you for the company for working with us. Moving to item 12, Colony Hydrant Access Easements, Resolution 2023-87, resolution approving the permanent access and utility inspection easement agreement between Colony 1927 LLC and the City of North Liberty. Can I have a motion for this?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussions? Roll call, please.
Harrington. Aye. Wason,
Aye.
Bermal,
Aye.
Sittig,
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving to item 13, Evermore Part 2 is resolution number 2023-88, a resolution accepting the public improvements and releasing surety for the Evermore Part 2 in North Liberty, Iowa. A motion for discussion of this?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or anyone wish to?
My favorite analogy is that we have no need to hold on to the wheelbarrow full of cash anymore and are telling the developer's bank that they can have it back since the improvements are completed to our punch list satisfaction, right? So the work's done, you can have the money back, and off we go.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Wason,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Harrington. Aye. Bermal,
Aye.
Sittig.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving to item 14. Resolution 2023-89 is a resolution approving parking control devices in the City of North Liberty, Iowa. A motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions?
So I learned something with this friction control. So all of the times where I've been driving on streets that I felt were too narrow because people were parked on the side of the road, like I have been by Field Day Brewing the last month or so, frequenting establishments over there. As I look back retrospectively, it was slowing me down and I learned today that that's the whole goal behind doing that. So thank you for educating me and proving, because I thought it was kind of a pain, but it has a purpose.
Yeah, it's not very often I get to sprinkle planner type terms in there, but certainly, yeah, with local streets, we do want to slow people down.
Yeah.
We can drive them to the faster streets like Penn and Rancho Way. That's where we want people to drive fast. But I mean, when you actually look at accident data where somebody gets hit by a pedestrian by a vehicle doing 25 or less, they have lower rates of fatality, and that's absolutely what we want in these areas. So,
Thanks. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Bermal,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Sittig,
Aye.
Harrington. Aye. Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving to 15 is building and fire code ordinances. A is second consideration of ordinance number 2023-20, an ordinance amending chapter 157 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances, adopting the 2021 International Building Code and modifying qualifying criteria for the Board of Appeals. A motion for this?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussions? Roll call, please.
Sittig,
Aye.
Bermal,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Harrington. Aye.
Second consideration passes. Moving to B, second consideration of ordinance number 2023-13, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of North Liberty, Iowa, adopting the 2021 International Fire Code as revised, and expanding the scope of the city's Board of Appeals to include oversight of fire code interpretation. A motion for this?
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Bermal,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Siddick,
Aye.
Harrington. Aye.
Motion passes. Moving down to 16, off-road utility vehicle ordinance. Second consideration of ordinance number 2023-21, an ordinance amending Chapter 75 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances governing the use of off-road utility vehicles. A motion for this one?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions?
Go ahead. I don't
No,
want
the only thing I would say here, I know we have a third reading, but as we get closer, I'd like to see Nick and his team do a push of education on this one and just assure that everything's kind of out there and quickly accessible for those that are looking to hit the road if this should pass a third, please.
If we got any public,
I was just gonna, that's what I was actually raising my hand for. Since since last meeting, I received 2 calls on it. One was a resident of Coralville asking us to consider ATVs to be illegal use. He has both machines and wanted an option. And then another from a North Liberty resident who was just verifying that indeed we were moving forward with this. He was surprised, but having recently purchased one with all the safety equipment, including blinkers, he was happy to hear it.
well, somebody's already driving them up and down Forever Green Road and Jones Boulevard every day. So
All over town.
Yeah, I've seen a number of them out and about.
So
And I've had several calls, people asking for details on what safety measures are required, as they already own them and they're looking to have things in place so they're ready to roll.
I think a lot of them probably have it, other than the
Blinkers.
the turn signals. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Siddick,
Aye.
Harrington. Aye. Wason,
Aye.
Bermal,
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Second reading passes. Moving to item 17, the 425 North Dubuque Street City Initiated Rezoning. This is third consideration and adoption of ordinance 2023-18. It's amending the zoning map district designation for certain property located in North Liberty, Iowa from RM21 multi-residence to RM12 multi-residence. Okay, a motion for this?
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or roll call, please?
Wason,
Aye.
Harrington. Aye. Smith,
Aye.
Bermal,
Aye.
Siddick.
Aye.
Third consideration passes. Moving to 18, Hatch Properties City Initiated Rezonings, third consideration and adoption of ordinance number 2023-19, an ordinance amending the zoning map district designation for certain property located in North Liberty, Iowa from RM21 multi-residence district to RM12 multi-residence district. A motion for this?
So move.
Moved. Second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other questions? And this is the one that takes 4 votes, 4 positive votes. And just to confirm, if somebody comes up with a really cool idea, we can always change this back just quite easily. All right.
Confirmed. Yep.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Siddick,
Nay.
Wason,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Bermal,
Aye.
Harrington. Aye.
The item passes. Moving to old business. Any old business? Moving to new business. I just have a couple things quick. So the fair is going on for a couple more days. It's going to be hot though, so try and stay cool if you otherwise can. Ragbri is coming to town on Friday and then Saturday in the morning, so there will be some traffic impacts in Iowa City and Coralville, so you may need to try and check out for them. Friday it's going to be very hot, but we still have a Ranchaw concert to try and get to. And then Saturday is this summer summit for the teens for mental health. So I think that's, well, hopefully it'll be well attended. That's all I really had. Anything else? We have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.